movie I watched, and all the other movies I'll mention are available on Netflix. One of the movies that I'd really wanted to see was Blackfish, which of course is the documentary about killer whales at SeaWorld, particularly this one killer whale that caused some issues over the years, sort of known for roughing up trainers or actually killing them. And in this case, the film essentially is arguing that, captivity is not healthy for these whales, and presents basically a timeline of this whale's life, sort of where he was captured, how he was captured, interviews with people that were there when he was captured, straight out of the ocean, essentially almost just passed around, it's just kind of interesting how it parallels a couple of other, things that humans deal with, with slave trade and stuff like that. So essentially, that's their side of it, is that's how they're presenting it. Like, this is not good. And this is something that really needs to be dealt with. And of course, nobody from SeaWorld is represented in the movie because nobody from SeaWorld wanted to talk to them. So it's really kind of hard to not side with the film because they present a really strong argument. Another thing that really struck me was that growing up, I went to SeaWorld almost every summer, if not twice a year.
Yeah.
So I really was like, whoa, I felt kind of bad. I was just like, should I feel bad about having such a good time going to these shows, experiencing the things that, SeaWorld makes available for families? And so I'm still kind of thinking about that. Like, I know, but at the same time, I'm like, because I know this. I saw this particular whale in shows. And so I was like, this is not good, just knowing that, you were there, something like, something really bad could have happened when you were there at shows. So, I don't know. It makes me think that, if and when I have a family, do I present them with something that I really enjoyed,
right?
In the same light. So it's kind of hard to swallow. It really is. And so, again, SeaWorld has their own version of the story.
Right.
These filmmakers obviously have their own. It's if you look into it, it's well known that, of course, SeaWorld does help animals and sort of puts them back in the wild. But at the same time, they're taking these other animals away from their families. And they actually presented a really interesting scientific look at, taking whales from their families and trying to force them to be a family from all these other pods. And I just never thought about it that way. It's like, oh, okay, they're all whales, they should get along.
Right.
That apparently is not the case. And so a really strong documentary, one that I think is really worth watching, and one that's kind of hard not to I can't imagine there's a lot of people on the other side like, SeaWorld's the best, and here's why. Like, I think they know, but at the same time, it's a business, so you kind of just have to go with it at this point. Because it's like, you really couldn't release this whale into the wild and he would survive. There's just no way. So at some point, where's the line drawn, I think is really what it gets to. So I recommend that one. I really enjoyed it.
A Place for Film is recorded at WFIU Studios in Bloomington, Indiana.